fairly good point. The humans are getting exposed to aflatoxins normally.
Right.
As part of the daily existence.
Right.
When you did the animal studies, you had to give aflatoxin to the animals, right? To test the effectiveness and safety
You bet.
of the play.
You bet. Yeah, to be able to do that, because aflatoxins, if you buy them when they're synthetically produced, are extremely expensive. So we, with our colleagues at USDA, we inoculated the fungus that produces, an aspergillus that produces aflatoxins, in a rice powder. And after growing it out for a couple of weeks, we produced very high levels in the rice powder of the naturally occurring aflatoxins. And then we mixed that in to their diets to produce the effect we saw, and to be able to prevent it with the Novacil.
Now, Novacil is getting close to being a commercial product available in the marketplace.
Well, we're certainly hoping so. It still has some more stages to go through. We were just refunded for another 5 years in Africa to do a more extended study in humans, a 1-year study, and a preliminary study that I'll be starting in a couple of months in Ghana is really of interest to me. And it's a pilot study before the 1-year study, and I'm going to be able to show if the clay, when put in a powder form in peanut meal and cornmeal, and then when it's used to cook the food in the villages, if eating that food with either placebo or the Novacil, makes a difference in the exposure. Because what we've done so far is give them a capsule for each meal. Now I want to give it to them in the meal. Make sure that the processing to make fufu and banku and the dishing, kadia, peanut soup and stuff like that, if that won't affect the efficacy of this. And if that's the case, then we'll be able to apply it in the food. I think that'll be probably the best way down the line.
Well, it seems clear to me that Novacil should help prevent the hazards. It occurs to me that animals eat food that is contaminated with aflatoxins.
Right.
Pigs eat moldy corn and stuff like that. Are there implications here for animal treatment?
Oh, most definitely. Recently, well, I guess it was a couple of years ago, and then maybe 6 or 7 years before that, we had outbreaks of disease even in domestic animals, in dogs. I mean, you may have heard that. I think the last one was in the Carolinas, and it was due to corn that had been drought-stricken, in the field, and loaded up with aflatoxin, and dogs started dying. And I get calls all the time with animals, that are having problems with this, or presenting at the vet school with livers that are classical, for aflatoxicosis. So I would love to see this be able to go into animal feed and be able to protect dogs and as well as farm animals.
Is it going to be dirt cheap? Tim, that's wonderful work. Thanks a lot for sharing this information.
Thanks, Bill.
So I think you can see from the 2 lab visits that we just had that research on animals leads to treatment for animals, and very often it's done with the idea of developing treatments for humans. You've also seen that research on humans can lead to treatments that can be used with animals. So in other words, it's all one medicine, after all. I hope you've enjoyed this tour, and we'll give a lot of thought and appreciation for what's involved in developing new medicines and treatments.